I feel like we should push record because this is getting good. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Night Sleepover. Today, we have a new guest on, and I wish that I had asked you for the correct pronunciation of your name, because I think it's Elena. Am I correct?
Yes.
She's nodding her head. Okay. Yes. Elena is our new guest that is coming on for a thing that I'm trying now that I'm really excited about. It's the News Goes Girl Talk. I had this idea because we have I've been just thinking about how print media is dying, and
It's dead. It's not dying. When was the last time you grabbed a newspaper?
I do look at them at the newspaper at the grocery store because oftentimes I'm in them, but
okay, show off.
Well, they're just local. It's not that exciting. But I have not bought a newspaper in a long time. And so I've been thinking about how it's dying or dead. Mm-hmm. And then I was thinking about how does my generation get their news? And it's on podcasts. And then I was like, I have a podcast. I could contribute to the current power vacuum that is where's my generation gonna get their news from?
Yeah.
A podcast. Why not me? Let's try it. So if you hate it, let me know. If you love it, let me know. I'm sure you're gonna love it because we're both awesome.
I just want to say I buy newspapers often. Recently, not too often. The last one was when Donald Trump got shot in the ear. Mm-hmm. I buy very big major events, so I could just kind of scrapbook it.
Do you have a news scrapbook?
I don't, but I have the newspaper to start it. I've got when Gaza first happened, Ukraine Russian war first happened, COVID stuff. That's whenever I started doing it.
That's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
Almost like a history book. One day maybe you could print it as a history book almost.
Yes. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. So I've got them stashed in the most random places because I'm gonna read this, and then it's in one backpack, and then I'll switch it over to another backpack. Anyways, my name is Elena, and I'm so glad that you brought me here, and we are gonna dive straight into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
The biggest thing, anytime you refresh your phone, it's something about a Trump pick.
Yes, that's what we're going with first.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about raw milk before, so now we're shifting gears.
Yes. We definitely missed out on some content right there.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to raw milk. Don't you worry.
Yes. First off, we're gonna start off with Dr. Oz.
Yes. So, for evergreen purposes, if you're listening to this far into the future, it is November of 2024, and we are currently in the middle of Trump making his presidential cabinet picks, and it has just been released that there's some breaking information with some of them, but other ones we're pretty sure it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So Dr. Oz is one of those where we're pretty sure it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So what do we know about Dr. Oz?
He is looking to be the head of Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, mm-hmm. and he'll be working with RFK. Mm-hmm. But Dr. Oz, you have seen him on shows such as Oprah, mm-hmm. where he would always talk about health stuff. And you know him, you know his face. He's a trusted mm-hmm. voice. Mm-hmm. And then he lost some credibility over some time for being, I guess, kind of anti-vax, and has kind of pushed for medications that haven't always been FDA approved. Mm-hmm. So there's some on that. He is a trained surgeon. Mm-hmm. But he didn't really work on surgery type of things very often. Mm-hmm. And let's see here. But his role is going to be looking over Medicare and Medicaid services. Okay. Which is over 2 million people, I want to say. And this would be anyone who's enrolled in
those services.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The thing I know about Dr. Oz is I remember he used to have a daytime TV show. Yes. And when I would be at home in the middle of the day as a child, I would watch it.
Yeah, when you were sick, right there, he was right there on TV.
Yeah.
Because he was after Wheel of Fortune. It was there's nothing mm-hmm. else to watch, so might as well learn about my diet and so it'll be interesting to have, a reality TV star I think I would call him.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have a reality TV star as the president too, so that
Yeah.
fits.
Yeah. Maybe like they're trying to get a TV show out there up in the White House.
Maybe.
Or like during special
The Real
events.
Housewives of the White House.
Yeah. And then we'll go ahead and we'll go to Robert F. Kennedy, RFK Jr., and he is going to be part of the Health and Human Services Department. Now, he was running for president, and Trump kind of was like, I'm going to give this guy a spot. Don't worry, you guys. Let's see. There was a dead worm found in his brain.
Okay.
This is from NPR.
Okay.
So this is true.
When was the dead worm found, and what did it do to his brain?
Well,
how did he get it there?
So it's common. More than 1 billion people have parasitic worms.
Oh, I hate this.
So if you've ever felt like, there could be something in my brain, maybe there is. RFK had a dead worm in his brain.
Why are we doing this?
Yes. So I'm sorry. This is making me like now my spine is tickling.
It's the worms.
It's the worms. So I'm glad we're gonna have someone in office who's gonna be able to know the pain that I'm feeling right now. But no, this is very common in like Mexico. Like whenever you eat carnitas. It's very important that like the meat is cooked all the way through. Carnitas is pork. So, like they say, make sure your pork is always cooked all the way through because there could be worms in it. And that's one way that these people can get, if you eat undercooked pork, don't eat worm.
Do we know why his voice is the way it is?
My guess is it's not the worms.
I don't think it's
probably
the worms either.
The raw milk. Or it could be that one time that he fought a bear and put a dead bear in the middle of the park.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. There was news about him putting a dead bear in a park too.
Yes. So,
my favorite thing that is like on the internet about RFKJ right now is that he had to eat a Big Mac on the plane with Trump.
Yes. So as Trump is making these announcements, him and his crew got together and were eating McDonald's. All on this private plane, and there's funny pictures of him shirtless, like, oh my gosh, like, how am I gonna detox from this now or something?
Or the other thing I like is all of the internet people right now that are like grocery shopping, and they'll like pick up a Fritos bag, and it'll be like somebody impersonating RFKJ and is like, put that back.
I just also think that was like, now I know how people feel about like taking your guns away. They're gonna take away my hot Cheetos. All I want are my hot Cheetos.
I know. We all have to stock up on our red 40.
Yes.
Before it's no longer
So
available.
That's another thing, right? Is he doesn't like the colors, which there's science saying that maybe these colors are not good. I'll tell you what. I have a 1-year-old daughter. She loves to grab the fruit snacks, and when she has the red one, she goes crazy. I don't know if it is that red 40.
I have one regular guest and listener that she says that she doesn't do any dyes in her family.
Yeah.
And she's noticed a huge difference in her kids.
I believe it.
Hyperactivity.
But will it change the flavor of my hot Cheetos? I don't know if I'm willing to take that. I will take the red 40. I'm a grown adult. You can save the children.
I consent to put red 40 in my body.
Yes, please. And then he's a pretty big person about drinking raw milk.
Yes.
Now, earlier we were talking about how if you've been on cream top TikTok, which is people just opening up glass milk and getting the cream top of a fresh glass of milk. And it looks really good to me. I love milk. I love really good rich milk when I make hot chocolate. It's just, especially right now as the weather's getting colder.
Yes.
There are some true negative aspects to raw milk, such as some bacteria, abdominal pains, body aches, headaches, just kind of what comes along with you have listeria or E. coli or any of those things.
I also kind of feel like while we as humans have taken a break from raw milk in general, it could be time to like bring it back because now our medicine can like help us deal with E. coli and we know how to like wash our hands and stuff. Like last time we were drinking raw milk, we weren't washing our hands.
That is true. It has been a long time. We have made advancements compared to whenever this was like, consumed all the time. One of my friends was like, no, he drinks raw milk all the time. He's like, you just get your spoon and get the gross thing out, and you just, that's it. Don't drink the gross thing. That's basically what he told me. But there are people who like really like, children under the age of 5, and pregnant people, just for those little bacteria things, unless you're willing to take that risk. I can probably just smell it and look from it from a distance. If not, I would just grab the udder and just squirt it right.
Squirt it right in the mouth.
Yeah, that's the best type of milk right there. So that's a little bit of these. So he'd be over Health and Human Services, and he would be the boss to Dr. Oz. And then someone else is Elon Musk.
Yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yes.
He would be over the Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE.
Is this a new department that...
Yes.
Because I've never heard of this one before.
Yes, they would be looking into how to... he would be in partnership with... I'm going to slaughter his name. Vivek Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy, I think is how you say it.
And he ran for president. He was up there in the Republican debate. So what they would be looking at is... They will work together to dismantle government bureaucracy, slash excessive regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies.
I'm not against this because it does take a really long time to get anything done. So if they can make things get done more efficiently, like I'd like to see them try.
So, but the other part of this is that their agency spells out DOGE.
Yeah.
Which is a crypto coin.
And isn't Elon kind of like known for supporting Dogecoin?
Yes. He's kind of like spearheaded the movement. There was like a moment where it dropped, and then it came back up. And like I think before this was announced, Doge was probably sitting at maybe 20 cents. I could be wrong, but now it's like at 40, 30.
Wow.
It's like any other type of stock. So, it'll be strange. I know Trump is planning to make some movement into the cryptocurrency sphere. So that will be interesting to see because it's something that I think all the other politicians have been just trying to stay away from. But it's something needs to happen somewhere because people are investing money in it.
Yeah.
But yes, Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, and he also has he's pretty high up, for our star agency. What is it called?
The Space Force.
Space Force.
No, he's Starlink, and
he does do Starlink,
yeah,
but he also is part of Space Force. Like I think Tesla helps with Space Force type of things.
Well, no, it's SpaceX.
SpaceX.
He owns SpaceX.
Okay,
and that's like a private space agency that they're like going to the moon or not going to the moon. They're not going to the moon. That's misinformation.
Yes.
They're like servicing satellites though and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. So they've helped with like I think was it Ukraine for a little bit provide internet and
probably
yeah. I think they kind of in the beginning of things Starlink is able to provide internet across a lot of places. And then
my sister has Starlink.
Really? Where does
she lives in the middle of nowhere in Hawaii.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. I've seen it. Have you ever seen it? Have you ever looked up and like?
No, but I have seen. Well, I mean, I've looked up and seen the stars, but
have you ever looked up?
But yeah, once or twice. But have you seen the comparison pictures of like the last like 20 years where they like from space looking at Earth, where it's like. Originally, there was like 1 or 2 satellites up there, and then all of a sudden, like it just like they like time lapse, like put it all together, and now just like you can't even see Earth because there's so many.
Yeah, there's so much junk out there.
Yeah, satellites up there.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for depressing me and reminding me that there's so many satellites
Space
up in the
junk.
sky.
Yay.
Yeah. No, but Starlink. If you, I believe there's an app that you can see where Starlink is, and whenever you go outside and look up. You can see like almost like a straight line of just like, the Starlink moving around and it spooks people out because it does look pretty creepy. You're kind of like, especially if you're out in the middle of nowhere and then you look up and you're like, what are all these like lights.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's Starlink, and it's crazy to see just the advancement, I feel like, in just the past 10 years and just that type of thing.
It's also kind of sad because it's hard to tell what stars now.
Yeah.
When you look up in the sky.
Yeah, I have an app that tells me that's a star. It also tells me that's a satellite. It's called Star cool. Or Satellite. I'm just kidding. It's like a sky guide.
Sky guide.
Okay, next in our list is Linda McMahon. And she is a nominee for the Education Secretary. She is also the former WWE, as in wrestling, CEO. So this is what a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, you know, they just picked a WWE person for education, blah, blah, blah. But more research that I did on her, she does have a background in education. She actually was on the board for Connecticut, their Board of Education from 2009 to 2010. She also served on Trump's cabinet before as small business administration. So, yes, she may have that WWE title, and I think she's kicked her husband in the balls on TV for WWE purposes.
Okay.
You know, like, she does have that personality for her. But she's also, this I think is pretty important. She's chair of the board of the America First Policy Institute.
Okay.
Which is I want to say that they are an organization, and what they do is they put America first. So they have a lot of Trump propaganda on there, kind of like putting America first.
It's like a political action committee.
Yes, so they're almost like the Heritage Foundation, which right now they've gained a lot of... You've heard their name going back and forth if you've heard anything about Project 2025. And so a lot of their agenda, like on their webpage, if you go to agenda.americafirstpolicy.com, you can join their agenda, but they like want to make America the greatest economy in the world. There's nothing wrong with that, and I'm totally behind that. Put patients and doctors back in charge of healthcare, restoring America's historic commitment to freedom, equality, and self-governance, and give parents control over education, secure the border, deliver peace, make America energy independent, make it easy to vote and hard to cheat, provide safe and secure communities so all Americans can live their lives in peace, and fight government corruption by draining the swamp.
Okay.
So they've got 10 pillars listed on their website. They have a podcast.
She's the CEO?
She is on the board. Let me see here. Let me look at her exact name on there. She is chair of the board.
Okay.
So she's pretty high up there. Whenever you go to the About Me page, the About page of that, you can kind of see that. But I think it's like very important to realize that WWE is not all her.
Yes. Well, it sounds like she has been networking and having some friends in DC for a while now.
Yes.
So WWE is probably like her main job, and then she just has like a lot of side hustles that she does.
Which be any of us.
Yeah. It's me.
Yeah, like literally. But you know, whenever it comes to, I guess you just see, I guess all of the news that I've seen about her is like, oh, she's WWE CEO, and I didn't know anything else about her, and I was like, why did he pick someone who ran this WWE? You know, so
sounds like they worked together before too, and he's a big wrestling fan.
Yeah,
Trump is. So.
Yeah, literally for like ever. He's been on WWE before, so. And then we will end this on someone who has now dropped out, the Attorney General, Matt Gaetz. He was under investigation by the DOJ over allegations of gross misconduct involving drugs and allegedly taking advantage of a 17-year-old girl.
Yikes.
But that has not been confirmed, and since he actually dropped out of where he was, they kind of like dropped the case, so there's no charges like against him. So these are all just allegations. But he did today, as of today, November 21st, he said, I'm out, which is interesting.
Yeah. I wonder what motivated him to say no.
Yeah. I had seen some stuff that was kind of like Trump was getting a lot of negative press. A lot of people did not think he should be Attorney General. and a lot of people in Congress and the Senate
It's kind
were
of
saying,
crazy that you don't have to run for attorney general.
yeah, for the United States.
Yeah.
And I think in other
What does the attorney general do?
they can, you go to them if you're being scammed, you can reach out to your local attorney general, your state attorney general. They can help that. They kind of help with lawsuits against like Meta, that's a pretty big one, TikTok, those type of lawsuits. And then they also kind of look at the state's constitution. In this case would probably be the United States Constitution and just kind of go through and make sure things are like following what they need to.
Isn't that what the Supreme Court does, though?
Yes, but they can like release a statement saying like we are, but you could still fight against it because they're just a person. They're just an attorney general. That's all they do.
So it's like an attorney that works for the United States.
Yes, and then each state has their own attorney general.
Oh yeah.
So like typically, whenever there's something that's like happening, like TikTok in this case, ruining children's health, then a bunch of states will kind of all gather together and make a case and all sign on and kind of like go against, TikTok or whatever. So, yeah.
How does one get to be the attorney general?
I know stuff from a state standpoint, and they do have to be appointed by the governor. So I guess like if a president.
Don't some of them run for it though?
There are like smaller, like attorney generals, but I don't think their name is an attorney general. No, because like our current attorney general in Arkansas is Tim Griffin. Before him was Leslie Rutledge. But they don't run; they get appointed.
Oh, okay.
It might vary by state, though.
Yeah, I think it does vary by state because I'm pretty sure I've seen attorney general signs. I don't know.
But there's also like the attorney for a county. Like there's and those are voted on.
Yeah.
Those are typically voted on. Unless something happens where they kind of finish their term before, then the governor will appoint someone. Yeah. But then there will still be another race where people will get to vote for their attorney in their counties. It's it's not like an attorney either. It's like a special county attorney. But yeah, and I don't know if he has any background in law. You typically have to have been an attorney for a while.
Yeah, wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, so not sure about that. But yeah, anytime you refresh your page, you'll probably see something different, something new. I'm going to take a guess that he is going to pick one of his children next.
You think so? One of his children? I'm going to take a guess that he is going to pick... What's the guy with the lifts in his shoes? What's his name?
DeSantis?
Yeah.
Ron from Florida?
Yeah.
Ron from Florida.
I think he picks Ron DeSantis next.
Okay. And he'll make it some anti-LGBTQ, the Don't Say Gay committee.
Yeah.
We'll see. Our next one is a little hard. I do want to start this off by saying, like, there definitely is, like, a trigger warning for this one, for, like, crime against women and any of that. This week, the sentencing of Laken Riley happened. She was murdered after she went on a run. She, woke up early and someone in her apartment complex was kind of watching her and followed her, and she did not come back. I'm a runner. Well, I used to be a runner. I haven't ran in a long time. But, that's one thing that is always kind of on your mind is, like, safety. And, this one was pretty hard. And then what happened a lot with this case was the man who committed the crime, he was an illegal immigrant, so he was undocumented, and he committed this crime. So a lot of different news outlets kind of were able to use that, towards their kind of like advantage, I guess. But this did happen about 2 years ago.
Oh.
And yeah.
It seems like, because it's sentencing now.
Yes, it's sentencing. So, the court system, which once again, if we can get rid of
efficiency.
if we can make things more efficient and not wait 2 years, Because once again, her family and her friends stood up there and gave their testimony, talked about the life of Riley, and just, that's trauma that people have to go through each time, every time we put them in front of a court stand. I'm on the. I don't know if I want to name the man because sometimes it's kind of like,
Yeah, let's talk about her.
Yeah. Okay. So she was a nursing student, which once again kind of hits that community again. Women in nursing, many of them, right? Many of them also take, that time to run, to take care of themselves, and just to have
and
this.
they just made it out of a global pandemic.
Yes. Yeah. So. This one was just pretty hard. Even with, it's really sucks to see people just kind of use it for their advantage for political reasons.
Yeah.
And I think with this case, we saw that a lot. But at the end of the day, we need to remember that this isn't the first time this has happened. This isn't the only time women feel scared, especially when they go out and they do something by themselves. And that it is part of our responsibility as humans, as hopefully loving humans and caring humans, to make sure that people around us feel comfortable. So, with that being said, I think it's like very important for us to look around us and take note of like, hey, yeah, my neighbor actually does go on a run, and like, learning, maybe not like in a weird way, but like making sure people feel safe and like talking to the people around us, because this is a pretty sensitive time. I know a lot of my friends kind of posted about it, just the death of anyone, but then seeing the sentencing and being reminded again of this happening. Something interesting about this case was they actually were able to use her Apple Watch data, and they saw the exact moment when she died.
Wow.
Because her heart rate stopped.
Wow.
And so, they were able to ping him so quickly. So, like, in a way, it's great that we have the technology to catch murders faster and to have that information, but also we should be making different types of advancements than trying to figure out, these types of things. And then regionally,
where was this murder? Yes. Where did this murder take place?
Let me double check. I don't want to get the Georgia campus. So yes, this happened. She was on a trail at the University of Georgia.
Wow.
So a lot of college students were shaken up,
as they should be.
And this all happened in Athens, Georgia. And it was like, I want to say that the man didn't even like speak and just like wouldn't admit to anything. It was a 4-day bench trial, and like I said, because of today's technology, the evidence was overwhelming and powerful, is what the judge said, or the prosecutor's early statements. And I did see some testimony from some of her friends and family. And
how did she die?
She was murdered. They found aggravated assault with the intent to rape, is what the man was charged with.
So probably, not. She wasn't shot.
No. Yeah, this was a struggle. The man had claw marks on his arms. Would not tell police where he got them from, couldn't remember, and like I think from the time that like her heart rate started to drop until it finally stopped, it was about 20 minutes. So people were like, she fought all the way through. And I want to say her body was found fairly quickly, and he was questioned pretty quickly too, like within a day or two. So in those cases, it's great that you have closure. There's some cases where people don't get closure.
Yeah.
And then
what's next? Sorry to bum you
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, we had that. And then just I guess just touching back on that is just making sure to really be aware. Here locally, there was a case where a girl accused a man of kidnapping her and then raping her in her own car.
Wow.
And he hit her head with a gun, according to court documents. The probable cause, and this just happened like a couple weeks ago, and because of this, it's happened at a parking lot, at a grocery store parking lot, and they've upped security. A lot of people have made comments about how much security there is whenever you go to the grocery store, and it's just kind of like this. And we live in a nice part of Arkansas, so this was very, shocking for this small community. But it's just really like a moment. Like, we're still all human. Doesn't matter what color, where we're from. Like, really take those moments to make people around you feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like is pretty important to say. With that being said,
one other thing, my mom has a personal story about a time where she definitely could have got murdered, and someone had crawled through the window, and she was able to talk him out of hurting her, just because she had a plan. So it was like he came in and said, I'm gonna hurt you, and she said, no, you don't want to do that. I have AIDS. And then she had to explain to him what AIDS was. She didn't have AIDS, but she had a plan to say, I have AIDS. And so he was like, oh, maybe I don't want to.
Yeah.
And then he was like, anyway, it's my mom's story. But the moral of the story is have a plan.
Mm-hmm. So with that being said, thank you for saying that, because whenever I grew up in California, and I grew up in rough places, and my parents have always kind of taught us street smarts. So I'm always hyper aware of my surroundings, and I realize living here that some people have never really had to experience that. But I literally, if I go to the grocery store with my daughter, I park right next to where I'm going to put the cart back, because that's less walking for me to do,
Mm-hmm.
away from my baby and away from me. And the first thing I do whenever I get into the car is lock the doors.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that should be part of your routine. Because if it's not, for me, it wasn't always like someone's going to attack me, or like someone's going to steal my stuff in my car, In this case, that's exactly what this man did, allegedly, to this girl. Was he followed her and then hopped right into her car.
Mm-hmm.
And, I always call someone if there's someone who's been following me, or that I feel like someone is behind me. I call someone and I start describing the person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey, they look like they're this tall, they're wearing this, da 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 da. I make all those descriptions. My brother already knows. Whenever I'm like, hey, and I just start with a description, he knows what's going on. So I think that's very important, to have a plan put in place. Even though it sucks that we have to have a plan put in place, it's better to be safe, for something bad and then just being completely shocked. But you can always have a plan, and something bad can happen, but there's always resources. And I do want to give a shout out to the NWA Sexual Assault Services Center out here. They helped, and they do some really great work around here. They help people who go through any type of abuse. They also, any rape victims, and adults specifically, not children. So they do some really great work around here.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for shouting that out.
Yeah. Okay. And right here we've got aliens.
Yes. This is the one I was so excited about.
And I don't know if you guys know, but they are in the ocean. Congress has been speaking.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch them live on C-SPAN.
Uh-huh.
And they confirmed that there are aliens in the ocean, and that's really kept me up at night. I'm not gonna lie.
What other kinds of things do they say? Do they say that we're communicating with them?
Yes. Okay. So the way that they described communication, it's well, you know, whenever you're driving on the freeway
Mm-hmm.
and someone cuts you off and then you decide to go and you drive next to them
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of like just side by side.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you don't drive like an idiot like this, but you know, sometimes you do.
Hypothetically.
Yes, hypothetically speaking. But you know, that's like a form of communication right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the type of communication that we've made with these beings. And then they also said that some of them look like us, but like a perfect version of us, like AI. Oh, excuse me. Like,
Okay.
yeah, so that,
Not like a California perfect.
yeah, not like a California perfect, AI perfect, whatever that means. But also,
Interesting.
have you seen an alien?
I don't think I've seen an alien, but I do think that I've seen a UFO.
Okay. Where?
Well, one time my husband and I were driving out in the mountains,
Mm-hmm.
and we looked off in the distance, and we both saw like a thing the size of a city, like hovering over a mountain peak.
Oh my goodness.
And then one day,
What shape was it?
it was just like big, so big you
Yeah.
couldn't tell what
Okay,
shape it was.
okay.
And then like within a matter of like 10 seconds, it disappeared.
That is.
And we both saw it. It wasn't like a mirage.
Did you guys lose any sense of time or anything?
No.
So, once again, where I grew up is kind of like in the desert area of California, in Southern California, and my mother, she's a very strange woman. I love you, Mom, but you know sometimes you can be strange. And she said that there was this one time she was driving, and there was bright lights,
Mm-hmm.
and next thing she knew, she was home.
Wow. Sometimes I believe that is going through a portal and not necessarily seeing aliens. Because
Mhm.
I've had that experience too. One time, I've talked about it on the podcast before. One time, my friend Kenzie and I were driving to work, and it was snowing, and I saw up ahead that there was a truck spinning,
Oh my gosh.
and I was like, you gotta be careful, slow down. And as she was like slowing down, we started spinning, and then we stopped spinning, so we were like, is this perpendicular when it's like this?
Yes.
So we were perpendicular on the freeway, and the passenger part of the car was like in the middle of the freeway. And I looked up and I saw a semi coming, and it was coming. And I
Yeah.
looked back at my friend Kenzie, and we both looked at each other and knew we were going to die.
Yeah.
And then I looked back up, and we were off of the road.
That's crazy.
Right?
That is really crazy.
We believe that we went through a portal.
That is really crazy. So I've kind of wondered how, because these people said that, so typically whenever, these people, by I mean Congress, with the alien, is that, like, you know, we have a certain amount of G-force that we can take.
Mhm.
So whenever you get on a really cool roller coaster, you experience, like, G-force.
Mm-hmm.
Some people pass out. If you've ever wanted to become an astronaut or go into space with Elon Musk, you definitely can if you've got the money. But you got to practice your G-force because you're going to go at really high speeds.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I think the current technology we have that has, like, the highest amount of G-force are the
It's probably the F-35s.
Yeah, I wanted to say 31, but I
Yeah.
knew that was wrong. Yeah, so the F-35 fighter jets, which,
Mhm.
if you didn't know, we actually build them out in Fort Smith at the Ebbing. Yeah.
Well,
Off
yeah,
topic.
off topic, but I'm familiar with them because my stepdad is an aeronautical space engineer.
Oh yeah. So
And so
cool.
he worked for the government, and some of his projects included F-35s.
Yes, so that's super cool. So, like, you know, that's really high G-force.
Mhm.
And so they're saying that these beings can experience, like, in the thousands. No, I think we experience in the hundreds, if I'm not mistaken, if that. I mean, most of us pass out at 5.
Yeah.
So that's why they can travel interdimensionally.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you're familiar with the Mandela effect.
Oh, of course, yeah. I'm on the internet.
Okay, so I've wondered if, like, their interdimensional travel has changed the Mandela, like, some of the things that people claim are Mandela effects. Recently, the one that I've seen recently, people aren't familiar with the Mandela effect, is the hearts in David the statue by Michelangelo's eyes.
Okay.
So supposedly there are hearts now that are etched into his pupils. Like, his pupils are hearts.
Okay.
In I don't
I
remember
don't remember that either.
And so that's what my TikTok feed has been telling me is like, this is a Mandela effect. Another one is like the Bearstein Bears.
Bearstein
Bears.
Or the Fruit of the Loom cornucopia.
Yes.
Or the monocle with the Monopoly Man.
Yes, Monopoly Man. So they're things that you can clearly remember it being a certain way. And then now it's like that never existed the way that you thought it did.
The one that gets me is the tricks. How they used to be fruit, and then they were balls, and then they were fruit again.
They're fruit?
The tricks are for kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to be little fruit.
I just thought they were balls.
No, they were fruit, and then they were balls, and then they were fruit again. I'm pretty sure. Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe the manufacturer just made fruit and balls.
Fruit. Yeah, I don't. Well, you know, I'm like, yeah, I remember the orange. Is an orange? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's right.
Like you're right. The grapes did have little lumps on them for a bit. Okay, so yeah, they were fruit at one point. Fruit Loops, the way that it's spelled, you know, is it FROOT or Fruit Loops?
I thought it was FROOT.
I think it's spelled fruit. But those are things.
Yeah.
So, I've kind of wondered if aliens have messed up our timeline sometimes if they're traveling interdimensionally,
or maybe us like doing some kind of weird science thing with some like quantum physics machine. That's
too.
the thing. I don't know what those are.
Which we would probably try to do that because of aliens.
Yeah, or maybe we found it like a crashed alien ship or something.
So that they said we do have biological remains, whether or not they're dead or alive, we don't know.
Okay.
And that we do have like some of their technology, and that we are in a would today be a space race with all the other countries because everyone else has it too, and we are trying to figure out who can solve it, like reverse technology.
Don't you remember like several? I don't remember how many years ago. Maybe it was like 2020 in the pandemic, but like. The president of Mexico just like brought out an alien body.
Yeah, but they confirmed that was fake, supposedly. Like they did like a whole like, you know, X-ray type of thing, and did I hit something?
I think it's maybe no.
Sorry, we got a little staticky right there. The aliens wanted us to stop talking.
I know the aliens. They don't want us to.
They're watching us. But no. So, and I've like to look at conspiracy theories, and one conspiracy theory that I've read recently is that they're trying to just like watch over us to make sure we don't nuke each other.
Well, I've heard that one too. Yeah.
So
apparently, a few countries have like turned the dial and turned the keys and pushed the buttons to fire nukes, and they like a bright white light happens, and no one ever. It never happens.
Well, you know what I thought was pretty crazy though too, which was like, what if we weren't actually testing atomic bombs in the ocean? Because you know that's what we did way back then.
Well, we tested them a lot in the desert too.
Yeah,
because there's downwinders.
Yeah.
But we also like Guam.
Yeah.
Well, like we I'm pretty sure we nuked the crap out of Guam.
The Marshall Islands as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been like a crazy week, and what's even crazier is that they are watching us because they all sent us a Snapchat.
Oh yeah, okay. I don't know what kind of production, budget you have to have in order to like pay Snapchat to send every single Snapchat user a Snapchat. But we all got Snapchats from Oz this week too. Yes. Which like for the movie Wicked that comes out. I think it's tomorrow it comes out.
I believe so. Yeah. Well, they're not paying us to say this, so we'll get the dates wrong until they do. I'm just kidding.
But I looked up an article, and let me pull it up.
I love that you put that it was like U2-esque. Because, yes, this is very much like you just open up your music app and then boom, what is this?
Yeah, it was like 2014 U2 whenever they put all that album on all of our phones without our consent. It's like the same. I never added The Wizard of Oz on my Snapchat, but they just decided to send me a message If that is the way that sponsored ads is going on Snapchat, I am not excited about that. I'll tell you that. But this is the part 1 of Wicked. It's going to come out probably tomorrow. I don't know. Sponsor us. We'll say the right thing. It is a $145 million project. And the article that I read said that all of the most popular songs of Wicked that everybody knows, like "We're Gonna Be Popular" and then "Defying Gravity," they're both like in the first part. So one of the biggest challenges of the second part is going to be like, how are we going to hook you and get you to come watch the second one? Because like all the most well-known things are in the first one.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they should have spent the budget on the second one and not the first one, right?
I think they said I think they have to make like $290 million in order to pay for the down payment on the second one or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you heard the crazy conspiracy theory that like what is that? House of Dragons, right? They use House of Dragons as an example of money laundering and how
really?
all these film productions and like Apple TV shows are money laundering because their budgets are way too high.
Yeah.
And the production, like the final product, is like mid.
If you're going to bring up Apple TV, we're going to be mad about Severance. Have you watched Severance?
I started it and then I just got rid of my Apple TV. So.
Well, I recommend don't finish it until the next one comes out because it leaves you on the biggest
cliffhanger
that you're like, I'm still mad. It's been like 3 years and I'm like, bring it back.
Are they going to finish it?
I don't know. I feel like if they don't, people in the show are going to die before they finish. Okay, no, I shouldn't put that in the universe. But yeah, so that's that. I don't know, but I've never heard the money laundering one before.
Yeah.
But it would check out because the money laundering one I know about is like fine art. Like fine modern art is like a money laundering.
Yeah, I would do
heist.
that. Like, yeah, up my net worth, please. Let me buy this drawing from my daughter that's now worth $3.3 trillion. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell it as an NFT.
Hey, with the new crypto, with the new DOGE.
The DOGE.
Yeah, we'll see how NFTs, they could blow up.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think with Bitcoin, I think that they're gonna struggle until they can figure out a way for the Federal Reserve to like oversee it or whatever.
Do they actually want that?
No, nobody wants that.
Yeah.
But Bitcoin does not want that either. I read this book that was all about the Federal Reserve, and it is insane. It is. Do you know about the Federal Reserve?
Not too much.
We don't have that much time, but basically, it's like the richest people in the world came together and decided that money was going to be taken off of the gold standard and then put into the Federal Reserve, and it's just essentially almost like a scam.
Yeah, it's a different value because they can value it whatever they want instead of having it as the gold standard. Yeah,
yep.
That makes sense.
And like it's just money is based on money, and now it's like based on nothing. And so after I finished that book, I was like, money is fake.
Yeah,
let's just live our lives.
Yeah, but I think it's also important to remember that post-pandemic, the United States dollar has stayed the strongest.
Yeah,
and I think that's something we should all be proud of.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, let's just always hope. And if not, go ahead and start buying Doge. I'm just kidding. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not take my advice.
we are yeah, same.
And then, but yeah, do you have any plans to watch Wicked?
I don't have any plans currently, but I do think it would be a good one to see in theaters because I think there's going to be a lot of cool special effects. Okay. I did see, I've seen stuff in my feed about how the main actress, the not Ariana Grande one.
Judy.
Cynthia.
No? Oh, just kidding.
Gosh. Now I'm like clicking on the link and it's just trying to copy the whole thing.
It's okay. I really love all the outfits. I've seen people turn themselves green. Be careful with whatever you do. If you want to do that, that's totally fine. You can do that. But just be careful with what you put on your skin because it might not ever come off. You might be a green person.
Cynthia Erivo. Erivo.
Okay.
Who plays Elphaba. She when she got the contract to play the role, she wanted to figure out how to do all of her own stunts.
Oh,
So
wow.
she's done all of her own stunts for the film, and she has to like do a bunch of flying stuff and everything. So
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm not very familiar with musicals. This is a musical, right?
yes.
And I just watched my first musical this year, actually,
What
Hamilton.
did you watch? Okay.
I've gone to New York once, and like I did want to go to Broadway, but I didn't. Next time when I go to New York,
I've
going
only
to
been to
Broadway.
New York one time, and I did go to Broadway, and I went and saw Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, okay.
It was one that I was an accident. I wasn't supposed to go, but all my friends were going, and I was like, I don't like Phantom of the Opera. Why would I go? And then like one of our friends didn't show up, and so they were like, well, we have this ticket. You might as well come. And I was like, fine. And then I went, and I was like, oh, I understand. This is important to like culture and stuff.
Okay, so you see, like I am uncultured, and so I will be watching Wicked. I don't know when, but I do want to watch it. It looks really good.
Maybe
and
we'll go together.
yeah, maybe we can go watch Wicked together. And then Moana.
Mm-hmm.
I saw these popcorn boxes that they have for Moana too.
Mm-hmm.
Cielo, my little daughter loves Moana.
Mhm.
We took her to the beach this year, and I realized she thinks she's Moana.
That's amazing.
Because she got to see the ocean and
Mhm.
like was right there. Like just her face when she first saw the ocean was just totally
I believe
shocking.
that the
So-
ocean is like I didn't used to think the ocean was a big deal,
Mhm.
but when I lived in Hawaii, I like learned to love the ocean, and I would like go swimming and go to the beach all the time.
Mhm.
And like after having that experience, it like left a piece of my heart in the ocean.
Yeah.
So now when I go to the ocean, I can feel like she's powerful and she is like
You see?
alive. Yeah.
It's the aliens.
It is the aliens probably.
They want us to go back. We all belong in the ocean actually.
Not
I'm just
always.
kidding.
She I have a story about this. Can I tell you a story
Yeah.
about the ocean? So last time I went to Hawaii with my friend Kristen, she went because she was celebrating getting accepted to a master's program. And it was like my birthday trip for in 2023. And so we went to go visit my sister. She lives on Big Island. And we drove over to this beach, and because Big Island has like a lot of like rocky beaches. They don't have like a lot of sandy beaches.
Mhm.
And so we drove over to the other side of the island, like 2 hours away, just to go to the sandy beach. And we got there, and there's like hardly anybody there, and it starts to get windy. And I was like, oh man. And I went out into the ocean for like 5 minutes, and my contact flopped out of my eyeball, and I like saw it in the sand, and I like went to rescue it, and then the ocean just like
Grabbed
took
you.
it away.
Yeah.
And I was like, she was sending me a message. And I didn't bring any other contacts that entire trip, so I was so mad. So I had to wear my glasses for the rest of the trip. And you don't want to wear your glasses in Hawaii because you want to wear sunglasses.
Oh, that makes sense.
Anyway, so I was mad, but I was like, okay, she's sending me a message. She does not want me in the water. I'm going to get out. And so I went and I sat on the beach, and everyone's like, you're being ridiculous. Just come in the water. It's not that big of a deal, blah, blah, blah. And like everybody was out there. And then this man, like this Hawaiian or local guy,
Mhm.
is walking across the street. And he's like angry, and he's like, y'all better come in. And they were like, why? And then all of a sudden, like a swarm of jellyfish like start like stinging my husband and my friend's husband and my friend, and they all just like ran out of the water. And that was like, she was warning me. I'm telling you, she told me to get out of there. But the guy was like, there's a bunch of jellyfish right there. Anyway, so yes, the ocean is she's
It's a being,
alive.
a being. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
And
believe it.
the aliens are probably connected. Well, no wonder they can take so many G forces, because they live on that under the water in that pressure.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we forgot about all the pressure and stuff, but yeah, and that stuff should be continuously updating, and like I said, you can watch it live on C-SPAN,
Mhm.
the very boring channel, but they're talking about aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's there'll probably be some more feed. I guess be careful with what you see because AI is crazy. So if you think you saw alien pictures, it's probably just
it could have
AI.
been photoshopped or
Yeah,
whatever.
they this is all talk, by the way. They have not released any evidence. It's all talk.
Well, one time I did go to a Senate hearing in real life because I used to work on Capitol Hill once upon a time in another lifetime ago. And this is a cool Senate hearing to go to because it was like, I'm ancient. So it was like, okay, I'm not ancient.
You're getting there.
I'm just getting there. But this was forever ago. I did it in the summer of 2008. So Obama was like still in his like first term.
Yeah.
And so, well, I guess he just gotten there.
Yeah, he just got it. Yeah.
And so, like when I was there, Pandora, the music streaming service, had just started, and so there was like no like precedent of like royalties and how we like stream music on the internet.
Oh wow.
And so like it was a Senate hearing on royalties in the music business and how to manage online streaming, because before then it had just been CDs. And Pandora was really the first music service online that was like went viral and went widespread, and like everybody was listening to using it as a online radio.
Gosh, that's so crazy.
So the Senate hearings was like hearing about like how longtime artists were being affected by not being paid royalties because they weren't paying royalties because like it was the Wild West like of the internet. Like it didn't occur to anybody that you would have to charge royalties for streaming music. And so it was like discussing like how are we going to approach this in the future, and there was like large artists there saying, hey, we need these royalties. And then there were small artists there also saying, hey, please stream our music because no one's going to hear me otherwise.
Yeah.
And so they were like hearing both sides.
Yeah.
To like the argument.
That's so cool.
At the Senate hearing I went to for Pandora way back in the day in 2008.
Yeah.
And then right after that they got like sued and they had to pay a bunch of royalty fees, and that's why we all have ads now.
Yeah. Well, people need to get paid.
Yeah. True. People need to get paid, but also people need to be discovered.
Yes, that too.
So
okay.
Anyway, so that's my cool story about Senate hearings.
And you can watch these alien ones now.
Yeah.
Online, on TV.
They're boring, but sometimes cool.
They are boring, sometimes cool. But I think that's it for our first
How do you feel?
Sleepover with news. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope everyone likes it. You guys should leave a review.
Yeah, leave a review, and I'll put a little comment section. I like normally just like click through and when I'm uploading it, but I'll put a little comment section and be like, you can tell us if you liked it or not. So yay. Okay. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. Leave reviews, and where can people find you?
Yes. So you guys can find me on Instagram under the Elena Ramirez. My name is spelled Elena, and then Ramirez is Ramirez. I also help co-host a podcast with District 3 Podcast. You can find us anywhere, and we are just District, the number 3 podcast. And I'm really glad to be here, and I hope we could do this again.
Absolutely. So. And I've been binging District 3. If you like my show, you'll probably like District 3 too, because it's a little more political, but like a lot of just friendly talk too.
Yeah. So there's also things without politics. We did have someone who recently just got onto WWE Next. So her story is pretty cool. Her name is Serena. It's actually Serena, but it's like Serena. She just got on WWE Next, and we talked about WWE earlier. So, yeah, that's a good episode if you want to start.
Yeah. And I also really liked the ones where you guys are just talking and getting caught up.
Yes.
Yeah, those ones are my favorite ones.
Yeah, you can learn some more about me by heading over there and listening into the co-host only episodes.
Or when Irvin talks about his love of Step Up.
Oh yes, yeah, bring it on and stuff. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Anyway.
You would not see that in him.
he doesn't seem like that guy, but you get to know him anyway. Shout out to Irvin.
Yes, shout out.
Okay, I have rambled on long enough. So thank you for listening. Okay, love you. Bye.